Hey everybody, Jay Ruane here, and I've got my man Seth Price with me. Seth, how are you doing today?
I am doing well, a little bit tired, late flight, supposed to get in at midnight, 3 hours delayed for weather. And then they lost the pilot as we're pulling from the gate based on time. 2 hours later, new guy shows up, touchdown, 5 a.m.
Wow, that's insane to me. But Seth, we are burying the lead here.
We are.
And what I got to say is we have something new to share with everybody. We had no big introduction because the introduction is in promotion, is in production right now. But I am sitting in front of our brand new thing called the Law Firm Blueprint. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about it today before we get into it in earnest so that we can talk all about the wonderful things that we're going to do here in the law firm blueprint, LFP. You know, GMB, SEO, FB, all these different acronyms, and we are the LFB. So Seth, tell me about your vision. We'll talk about my vision for it, how it all came together as we've been talking over the last couple of months. We've started to roll out the branding, and I think it's a good idea to talk to the people out there who are in our audience about what the Law Firm Blueprint does that's different from Max Growth Live now that we're retiring Max Growth Live, and take it to the next level.
Well, look, I think that you and I have had so much fun starting with the content we've created throughout COVID. Our content has evolved,
Oh, big time.
and we have a bunch of different areas of interest. The main podcast slash video show has done ridiculously well. And as I walk around different conferences, people sort of tell me how much they enjoy it. I feel like we have this great back and forth between us commiserating and sharing the different trials and tribulations of law firm growth. We also had a bunch of different assets, for lack of a better term. We had the interviews that I love doing. That was the that I had as far as the law firm insider. There wasn't a place. I still have my SEO, and we'll keep that separate because that's really geeky stuff. And occasionally those people cross over. But interviews with movers and shakers in the industry, we want a place to host them. And the systems Facebook group that brought to fruition, that has really galvanized a portion of lawyers who really are looking for that place. So a home for systems and marketing to come together is what we needed and what this brand represents.
Yeah, I mean, really, what it comes down to is over the last year and a half, as we built the systems group, I realized basically because of DMs that I was getting is that not only were people looking for the systems, but they were looking for guidance on how to implement them, guidance on how to hire, guidance on how to market, which is something that your team has been able to help with. And really, there's a lot of lawyers out there that are struggling. They may be solo by choice, or they may be trying to grow and scale. But the reality is that there aren't a lot of resources out there where you can take the best from a lot of different areas and put them all together so people have one place that they can go, one place that they can get the information that they need. Everyone sort of gets a little fractured. I'm still going to focus on the systems. I'm still posting systems every day. So if you come into the Law Firm Blueprint, you're going to see the systems. But we're also going to do stuff like bring in speakers on topics like marketing and hiring and administration and finances. And I've already reached out to my network of resources. The guy with the biggest Rolodex in the industry is sitting across from me, and he's going to tap some people. Talk about just in general, not necessarily names, but talk a little bit about the advisory board that you're starting to put together for the Law Firm Blueprint.
Right. We want to be able to we want this to be a place where people can build and grow. There are a lot of people that either have done it with their own firms and or have organizations that have helped people, and just try to bring all of this different talent to one place. We have interviews in the can already that are with people who have scaled beyond the wildest dreams of almost everybody in our audience. As recently as just the other day, I was at the Lanier conference, and there are a handful of lawyers that are amazing trial lawyers that have also figured out how to scale firms. And that's always a big question I get asked more than anything. How do you do both? How do you practice, and how do you build? and trying to bring perspective. It's not just like, not everybody here is going to be a multi-million, $100 million firm. That's not the point of this. The point of this is to give resources so that, selfishly, we get to talk to these people, build and learn and grow, but everybody along for the ride gets this insight that hopefully will make your firm both more profitable, but also help with things like work-life balance and figuring out what you want to be when you grow up.
Yeah, and one of the things that I'd like to bring to the bring to the group is this concept that I've been doing now in my criminal mastermind for a couple of months, and really I've done in a little bit in the systems group where we just hold office hours, where we get 1, 2, or 3 people with a lot of experience in a particular area. And just like when you were in law school or in college, you can go talk to the professor about something that's been bothering you, something that you need to know a little bit better. We bring together people with office hours, and we get people who can ask questions directly to resources. And I got to tell you, this has been one of the best experiences of my life holding these office hours. And I know some of the people that we have lined up to do them are going to get just as much out of it, because I know what it's like. Seth, you know what it's like to be sitting at home on a Friday night, exhausted, burned out from a week of putting out fires, when you're practicing by yourself or with one partner, and you're running around like a chicken with their head cut off, or some other analogy, that whatever you want to plug in there. And you just sit down on the couch on a Friday night and you're wiped out, but you're thinking, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be something I can do to make my life easier. And the great thing about it is we have a lot of people on that advisory board. We have a lot of people that are active in the group that are willing to be givers and talk about these things and really give away some of the secrets or some of the pain points that we suffered through, and show you the way to get beyond that without you having to go through the same pain. And that's really one of the most important things.
Or look, and it's, I hope, and I think both of us look at this way, is can we stay away from the silver bullets, the shiny object, and the fairy dust? If I had a goal is to bring as much positive content, be as open a house as possible for lawyers out there, and make it a place that people can build, share, grow, learn within a safe environment.
Yeah, absolutely. And part of our goal here is to get a lot of engagement, talk to a lot of different people. I mean, we have our experiences. I have experience doing PI, family law, criminal defense, now civil rights. Seth has got a ton more experience, PI, family, criminal, key tam. I mean, I'm sure there's something else I'm missing there. You've got trademarks. I hired Price Benowitz to work on a trademark case for me years ago when we need to do IP litigation. I mean, you've scaled beyond everybody's dreams, but I mean, the reality is not everybody wants to scale, but this can still be a home for people who don't necessarily want to scale, but they want to have that free time that seems so elusive. They want to have that sort of peace of mind that their firm is growing, or their firm is where it should be, and they get to have the life that they want. And that's what's really important about the Law Firm Blueprint, is that it gives you those tools to be able to get where you want to be, and not necessarily where everybody else is. And we recognize that, there isn't a magic wand that works on PI, that also works on criminal, that also works on family. Every practice area is different. You can't just be one thing for every type of practice that is out there. Sure, there's systems that you can use that are very generic, but it's the down and the dirty when you get into individual practice areas where you can blossom. That's why we're going to tap our advisory board to give us specific advice on their practice area, so everybody gets the benefit.
And so looking forward to it. Look, I travel probably a little too much, as the opening of the show alluded to. And I think the idea that we could bring people to us and be on the road less is certainly desirous.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you are at Lanier. How big is that conference? I've never been. How big is that conference?
It's getting there. It's probably approaching 1,000 people. It may be closer to 800. I don't have an exact number.
For you, that's like heaven,
Well, yes and
for
no.
me, I'd be like, too many people.
Well, yes, but what's interesting about this, because look, PILMA's next week. Ken Hardison does a great job. Anybody listening, I think I have some through BluShark. I think I have some passes out there. Let me know if you're interested. But what I would say is, the thing about Lanier, which is different than any other conference that is out there, is it's one person, was 2 days, now 2.5 days of straight content, people over and over again, it's drinking from the fire hose. This guy is to say he's a beast is unfair, like is not giving him credit. I mean, this guy is in a league unto himself. And to sort of have the opportunity to sort of, understand the mindset of somebody at the very, very pinnacle of the profession. So there's a business component to it, there's a networking side, but the actual substance is straight linear, which is a pretty exceptional and unusual experience.
Yeah, the interesting thing about trial lawyers, and I consider myself a trial lawyer. I've got my verdicts. They're really, for us that do trial work, being in a conference with other trial attorneys is really, really something special because, we are a unique type of person that are willing to stand in the well of a courtroom and argue our case to a jury. And I'd like to think that there's a home for those people here at the law firm Blueprint, but there's also a home here for the transactional attorney, the people who do immigration or trademarks or trust and estates, because we have resources that we plan on tapping to come in to talk about that type of practice. Because while it takes an incredible amount of intelligence and smarts to run that type of practice, there are some differences. And while we can learn from each other, the trial lawyers can learn from the estate lawyers. Interesting, I was in my mastermind yesterday and we had some sales training by a person who's done high level financial sales. And what we found at the end of it was that there were some corollaries and some takeaways that we could apply to jury selection. And so it's really, these things run the spectrum. And I think the great thing about having a single place like the podcast, like the show, like the group, like the resources, is that it allows you to sort of get the best of everything in one single location. And you'll have the law firm Blueprint as the place that you go for this type of information. And of course, I'm going to be in the group, Seth's going to be in the group, and we'll be commenting daily on stuff that we see.
Awesome. Well, look, I can't wait for this. I'll be live from Pilma next week. And the idea that I'm just giddy because there is so much to put into this basket, and feel that there's a need in the marketplace for this place to gain all these different resources in one place. So, if you like systems, you got a place. If you like marketing, you got something. And if you just want two middle-aged guys bantering back and forth on a weekly basis, you got it.
Yeah, absolutely. So folks, if you're watching this now, be sure to tune in every Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific, to be able to find the law firm Blueprint on our live show. But of course, if you want to catch us, you can always catch us on the go with our law firm Blueprint podcast. So just find your podcast player of choice, be it Apple, be it Google, be it Spotify. We are there. So just search up the law firm Blueprint and you can get our episodes there. And you'll also be able to catch all the back episodes of our old show right there. And then, but Seth, that's going to do it for us this week. You enjoy your travels. I can't imagine traveling the way you travel. That's just, I'm planning on a one trip in August, and I'm already hyperventilating over having to deal with that many people. You're on the plane like every week, it seems. So any parting words?
No, just ready to rock and roll.
Let's do this. All right, folks, that's going to do it for now. Every week you'll catch us here live in the law firm Blueprint. Now that you've got the blueprint, go get to work.